49 days until Christmas. President Granger awaiting Finance Minister's advice on Christmas bonus, and Energy Head clarifies several matters in the petroleum industry. Welcome to InfoHub. It's Wednesday, November 6th. Here's what's making the news. His Excellency President David Granger is awaiting word from the Finance Minister, the Honorable Winston Jordan, on the availability of funds to pay year-end bonuses to public servants.
The head of state today said that he could not give a pronouncement as he was awaiting the advice of the Minister of Finance.
I am not saying no, but after the next cabinet meeting, the Minister of Finance will be able to make an announcement on that matter.
President Granger reminded that his government is in an interim administration mode. The ruling by the Caribbean Court of Justice on the December 21, 2019 vote in the National Assembly has limited the administration from embarking on expenditures or agreement which are likely to collide with the convention of an interim administration.
We have accepted that we are an interim administration. I, for one, apart from my health, I have not traveled to any international conferences for over a year, and we have not entered into any major agreements.
Since its ascension to office in 2015, the coalition government has been providing either bonuses or retroactive salary increases. In 2015, public servants were paid $50,000. The following year, they received $25,000. In 2017 and 2018, public servants received retroactive salary increases. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Earlier today, His Excellency President David Granger accepted letters of credence from the ambassadors of Jamaica, Malaysia, and the Holy See.
The head of state received the credentials from non-resident Apostolic Nuncio of the Holy See, His Excellency Archbishop Fortunatus Buchuku, High Commissioner for Jamaica, His Excellency Arthur Williams, and the High Commissioner for Malaysia, His Excellency Datuk Lim Jue Jin. At the Ministry of the Presidency, the head of state assured that his government will continue to strengthen and enhance relations for the mutual benefit and the prosperity of the citizens.
I assure you of the full support of my government and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the discharge of your duties, and I wish you every success in fulfilling your mandate.
Guyana established formal diplomatic relations with the Holy See on June 9, 1997. Whilst Jamaica and Guyana established relations on Guyana's Independence Day, May 26, 1966. The Malaysian relations were established on April 26, 1976. Paul McCallum for InfoHub.
The Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, today shed light on several issues within Guyana's emerging petroleum sector.
Dr. Bino stated that the department has made a conscious effort to not issue oil blocks until certain measures are in place.
We need to enhance the legislative framework. So we will not be going to market until that framework is more robust. Two, we have been on record as indicating we need to revise the production sharing agreement because there are elements of the basin that has now been de-risked. So Guyana can have more favorable terms going forward. Three, we've also indicated that we need to do 2D and 3D seismic shoots so that we understand the prospectivity that is there, which will allow us to then issue blocks in specific quadrant.
The Energy Director further noted that the crude lifting agreement has advanced significantly and is being finalized and is expected to be completed in the new week. The government of Guyana will be a signatory on the document along with the Stabroek Block co-venturers.
It is an industry standard document or template that is being used based on the Association of International Petroleum Negotiators crude lifting agreement. And it is being applied and customized to take the Guyanese context into consideration.
He also highlighted that while there has been concern about the lack of sanctions in the local content policy, these will be included in the legislation.
The local content policy is different from the local content legislation. And sanctions often are not found within policy documents. And that's the issue that we have here. So while we understand the need for sanctions, that will come in subsequent legislation.
The EEGPL is collaborating with the Technical and Vocational Education Training Council on implementing 2 pilot programs to build technical capacity in the sector. In the meantime, the Department of Energy continues to work assiduously to ensure that Guyana is prepared for the petroleum sector. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
With more data still to be released, the Guyana Elections Commission has so far been able to facilitate transactions of 26,300 persons in its claims and objections period. As of Sunday, November 3, the elections body has seen 5,636 new registrations with more than 14,000 transfers. Changes and correction of particulars total 2,639, while 2,400 persons carried out replacement transactions. 651 persons had their photographs retaken. While the claims aspect of the exercise came to an end on Monday, November 4, citizens have until November 11 to make their objections. So far, there have been 500 cases made for the objections aspect. The claims and objections period, which began on October 1, is the period to have issues addressed relating to new registrations, transfers, changes of address, and the retaking of photographs, among others. The most recent data of this exercise will be provided in a subsequent newscast. Still to come, Agri-Minister talks food security and inland agriculture production, and India to celebrate with Guyana in 2020 Golden Jubilee. Details after the break. Thanks for staying with us. On Voice of Guyana today, the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Noel Holder, drove home a critical point as it relates to food security in Guyana and what is being done to continue the push for increased agricultural production inland.
Guyana is a food secure country. This country does not really need to import food for our well-being. As a matter of fact, we're self-sufficient in beef. We're self-sufficient in many things, poultry. So we are partway there. It's a question of expanding it.
Minister Holder explained that the challenge the agriculture sector faces does not lie with feeding the nation, but with finding markets for the excess foods we produce. Many countries have regulations on residual chemicals on produce, which is why the recently constructed Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Laboratory is instrumental.
You see, what we're facing as a nation, certainly as an exporting country, is increasingly the world is looking at food safety in a very serious way. And pesticide residues can prevent our produce from getting into markets abroad. So we need to be able to monitor what are the residues left.
The Agriculture Minister also outlined some of the work being done in the hinterland to allow for greater agricultural development in the region.
Regarding Region 9, which is the Rupununi, the government is developing and facilitating a favorable environment for developing the water resources. The National Drainage and Irrigation Authority has instituted a systematic approach to development of the rainwater and surface water resources through improving water storage capacity for the availability of irrigation and drinking water, which will have a great impact on cattle rearing and livelihoods of residents, while simultaneously increasing agricultural activities and production.
Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
The expression of India's culture will be one of the highlights of Guyana's Golden Jubilee celebration next year. This was confirmed today as the Indian High Commissioner to Guyana, His Excellency Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, paid a courtesy call on Minister of Social Cohesion, the Honorable Dr. George Norton.
Guyana has very big plans for the celebration of the Golden Jubilee of its Republic anniversary in February 2020. Included in those plans is the inclusion of several countries that have historical and cultural ties here. One such country is the Republic of India. This morning, India's High Commissioner to Guyana, His Excellency Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, paid a courtesy call on Minister of Social Cohesion, Dr. George Norton.
Here it is that we've been visited by the Indian High Commission, and he has agreed to be part of this by providing a troop of in cultural troupe from India to come here to Guyana to perform as part of the Jubilee celebration, along with getting involved in having a short course, symposium, workshop kind of on information technology, of which they have developed quite a lot in.
Relations between the two countries since Ghana's independence in 1966 have been cordial. India's High Commissioner to Guyana, Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, said his country, rich in culture, stands ready to collaborate with Guyana. The country has a number of graduate scholarships available for Guyanese students, two of which are exclusively for art and culture.
I'm so proud to be in Guyana because you are a diverse country, multi-ethnic country, and so is the case here in India. We also have various tribes in India, various religions which have thrived throughout thousands of years. And for us, we can share good experiences, the good practices. And at the same time, I was discussing with the Honorable Minister how the Indian government has worked very hard to develop the tribals in India, at the same time trying to promote social harmony.
Guyana and India share close historical and ancestral bonds which continue to deepen cultural exchanges. The common love for sports, particularly cricket and hockey, has also inspired healthy competition and exchanges. Reporting for InfoHub, Natasha Smith.
Maintaining one's health can be challenging at times. However, watching your carb intake does not mean having to banish bread. Wholesome Foods Bakery and Restaurant is making this a reality for many.
Pedro Mendonza, representative of the bakery, who was manning the booth at the recently held Agritourism Expo, said that the idea is to make healthy yet delicious baked goods that cater to the health conscious as well as for diabetic patients.
All of we like the bread, but not all of we can have it, right? Or all of we can eat it, right? So now we're trying to help that kind of people with that bread. We make all the breads with cane juice, right? Instead of making it with a regular sugar. It have chia seed, pumpkin seed, the regular cane juice. Some of them have some kind of cheese, like Parmesan cheese, garlic, onion. We have different flavors for different kind of persons.
Mendonza said that this expo has helped to increase their clientele as more persons are now aware of the bakery and its healthy products.
We hope that all the people know our product, and we hope to help some more people with the diabetic wholesome, with the diabetic friendly wholesome bread.
The bakery and restaurant can be found at 350 East and New Market Streets, Cummingsburg, and provides artisan breads which range from gluten-free, diabetic, 8-grain, and garlic parmesan. They also offer pastries catered for diabetics. Business hours are from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
As we close, here's a reminder from the Guyana Elections Commission.
Today, we will discuss the objection aspect in GCOM's claim and objection exercise, which is currently ongoing. GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward joins us again to break it down for you.
The objections aspect is really, as it says, objecting to the inclusion of a name on the list that you believe may not have met the eligibility requirements to be included on that list. A lot of times there's an emphasis on death, but if you have a suspicion that an individual who you see is listed on that list may not have had the eligibility requirements to be on that list, then you can object. Of course, with an objection, you're required to provide the evidence. The name that you're objecting to must be on the same list where your name is listed. So it should be on the same divisional list. Example, I cannot be living on the East Coast but object, and my name is on the list on the East Coast, but I'm objecting to someone in Georgetown.
It's that simple. Remember, you have until November 11 to make an objection. Get registered and ensure that you are on the list.
That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website at dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.